5-month Larry Barker investigation has uncovered a dangerous public safety problem hidden away behind the walls of New Mexico's prison system. It's a fiasco that is not only costing taxpayers millions of dollars, but it's also affecting lives. Here's Larry's report.
It's unsafe, it's dangerous.
We have a crisis. I think the state has really ignored this crisis.
We're just a time bomb waiting to happen.
There's trouble brewing behind prison walls. It's disturbing and costly. A News 13 investigation finds New Mexico's prison system is in the danger zone. The issue is understaffing. Records show state corrections officials have failed to hire enough correctional officers to control inmates and keep our prisons and the public safe. In the last 2 years, taxpayers have shelled out tens of millions of dollars to compensate for inadequate staffing at all of New Mexico's prison facilities. Senator Sandra Rue serves on the Senate Finance Committee.
It is a terrible situation, and the harm is eventually something's going to happen, something's going to snap.
To ensure public safety, prison facilities must have adequate security staff. The American Correctional Association states prison facilities should not exceed a 10% correctional officer vacancy rate. In New Mexico, however, prison staff vacancies are through the roof. The state pen in Santa Fe is so short-staffed that as many as 29% of the correctional officer positions are vacant. At the medium security prison in Los Lunas, officer vacancies are 3 times the national standard. And over the past 3 years, more than half of the correctional officer positions at the Western Prison in Grants have gone unfilled. At the Roswell Penitentiary, officer vacancies have exceeded 60%. And in July 2015, at the Springer Prison, the correctional officer vacancy rate topped out at a whopping 70%. David Jablonski is the newly named Corrections Secretary.
To have 40, 50, 60, 70% vacancy rate for any prison, by any stretch of the imagination, is that going to be acceptable to you?
Absolutely not, Larry.
These are minimum standards to ensure the safety and security and efficient operation of our prisons. If these standards aren't met, people are going to get hurt. It's just that simple.
Santa Fe attorney Mark Donatelli led the 1980 riot defense team. He is an expert on prison reform.
If 70% of the police officers in Albuquerque didn't show up one day, what would they think would happen? I mean, they're there for a reason. This is supposed to be what we need to ensure reasonable safety and security in the community.
New Mexico's private prisons don't fare any better. In fact, private prisons must pay penalties if they fail to maintain minimum staffing levels. Over the last 2 years, the Hobbs prison has shelled out more than $870,000 in penalties for inadequate security. The Northwest Private Prison in Grants has paid more than $500,000 in staffing penalties. Since 2012, 5 New Mexico private prisons have paid more than $5.6 million for failure to maintain required security staffing.
In the last fiscal year, was there any private prison in New Mexico that complied with the staffing requirements?
No, Larry, all of them have been penalized at some point during the fiscal year for lack of staffing.
To maintain security at state prisons, minimum staffing levels are required. Vacant officer positions must be filled by existing officers. Since 2015, officer overtime at state prisons cost taxpayers more than $31 million. Many correctional officers are required to work 16-hour days every day. Some officers have been ordered to work 24-hour shifts.
Understaffing was a significant cause of the riot, as well documented. It was very easy for the prisoners to take over the entire prison with so few correctional officers on duty.
It's long hours. It's a thankless job. Lots of overtime. It's a very dangerous job.
Rob Trombley is Public Safety Coordinator for the Correctional Officers Union.
They're responsible for the worst of the worst in the state, the folks that kill cops, the folks that hurt people, rob your house. Those are the folks that are in prison.
Understaffed and overworked prison security is a recipe for disaster. In 1999, inmates ambushed Officer Ralph Garcia and stabbed him to death. Last year, a prison officer was stabbed by an inmate. In October, another officer was attacked and suffered an eye injury. The list of escapes, assaults, and injuries goes on and on.
You're risking your life, pretty much. Anything can happen at any time.
It's not a safe place. The public isn't safe. The prison system is not safe. The staff is not safe, and neither are the inmates.
It gets scary. It's scary knowing you might not make it home to your family that night.
So why is it so hard to find people willing to work in a prison? Well, number one, it's one of the lowest paying public safety jobs in New Mexico. As a matter of fact, fitness trainers, garbage collectors, even estheticians earn more than trained and certified correction officers.
They're competing with McDonald's, Burger King, and Walmart for jobs. You know, you're going to go work at McDonald's, you're going to deal with the public, they're not violent, for the same pay almost as you could work in that state corrections.
If I was a correction officer in one of those facilities, I wouldn't want to go to work. I wouldn't want to put myself in that facility in harm's way like that.
We're putting people's lives at risk on a daily basis.
Senator Howie Morales serves on the Legislative Finance Committee.
We shouldn't have to wait for a tragedy to take place, a life to be lost, or a riot to happen for us to take action.
But providing better pay and working conditions for state correctional officers is a hard sell in the legislature.
Out of sight, out of mind. They want to catch the bad guys, they want to prosecute them, but I believe folks think that they just go away after that, and that's the job of the correctional officer, and out of sight, out of mind.
I think it's something that I'm going to have to address as a leader of this department, and we're going to do everything we can to get on those vacancy numbers. They're just too high and unacceptable.
Having done this since the 70s, I see that people only pay attention when correctional officers are hurt, prisoners are killed, or people escape and hurt people in the community. We shouldn't have to wait for those incidents to address this problem.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
For a breakdown of the New Mexico Corrections Department overtime expenses or a look at state and private prison vacancy numbers, go to our KRQE News app.